So
Huh. You guys getting value out of this meeting expectations in terms of value and what you're expecting from our end to help you guys get started?
I can definitely see the value on account management. I see the value of both of these, and I think it's fantastic. And I love all of this process piece of it. The check marks, the little color coded, all those pieces of it, letting you know a reminder it's not ready yet, and reminder of this question. So there's a lot of stuff as seasoned people we think we know everything, but we don't always know everything, right? And so we kind of need those reminders. So it's been really valuable.
Great. We talked about this before, and as we created structure and framework around the operational side of our business, I mean, it gave us a lot more visibility into what we were doing, what we weren't doing in the account management piece. It's the same thing. I mean, formalizes things that we are doing and gives us an opportunity to maybe do things that we haven't thought of in the past. So far, so good.
my overall spin on it has been, as I've watched Joe start calling and what he's getting out of it and the data we're starting to get, that's hugely valuable. This account management thing is going to be hugely valuable to be able to profession the sales portion of what we do on that relationship front so that we can more consistently realize additional value out of customers is enormous. I mean, we're doing it, but we're not doing it nearly as efficiently as we should. Mm-hmm. So having all of that and just having the data, I mean, having the data has been freaking amazing. Really, really, really powerful to be able to look at this and see, okay, this is what's going on, and this is what we've gotten out of the calls so far, and what the big blockers are, and just all of that stuff. We've never had that. I am far, far more pleased with what we've done here than any interaction we've had with any sales coach or anybody before. This is, I don't know whether it just appeals to my engineering brain because I'm data oriented or what, but so often the sales coaches, they're sort of generic. This is all very, very applicable to what we're trying to do. I feel like, okay, finally, we've got the piece that is going to take what I've done intuitively and what's in my head and turn it into something that we can professionalize and builds that sales engine that just keeps going for us. Because I got to tell you, sales for me, particularly as I've tried to add one salesperson from, it's been like pushing a wet bag of sand up an inclined plane.
Just falling everywhere and creating mud.
Yeah. And we've hired lots of salespeople. We've spent tons of money on sales coaching and consulting. We spent tons of money on marketing. We know what doesn't work, but sometimes we haven't been entirely sure why it hasn't worked. 3 years ago, you were spending, when you include the salespeople's salary in it, about 20 grand a month on sales and marketing. The marketing company was out there sending 90,000 cold emails a month. They produced not even one lead. And they were turning around and dumping all these leads into HubSpot. I've got HubSpot that's got 10, 15,000 names of companies, not contacts, but company. It was completely useless. We're sending all these emails, all this stuff is happening, and we got all this crap in the CRM, but no, we can't do anything with it. Mm-hmm. Like I said at the beginning of this, if all we're getting is a new list constantly, it's noise. Mm-hmm. You never move past that initial stage.
Right.
And that initial stage is never going to produce results. It's about cleaning up the list and getting data and getting it put into a system so you can start to see where you should concentrate and what the objections are. And, yeah, great. We got 15,000 names. We don't know if a single one of them uses a third-party IT company. Well, that was $20,000 a month for almost a year that I could have just put in a wheelbarrow, doused with kerosene, and set on fire for all the good it did us.
It would have been at least warm that way.
Right.
Now, like
Right.
after a week, you're seeing that stuff's happen with Joe. Just
In the first week. In terms of conversions and setting appointments and all that, we shouldn't expect it to be effective. What we should expect is that we're getting all this information and we're cleaning the list up, and we've now got the tools to see that. That's hugely impactful for our decision making.
Mm-hmm. And that's when you guys can follow along. It's not that Joe has to figure out how to kill the appointment by himself. When it's ready, you guys can huddle up and say, do this, and if that doesn't work, do this. And then he's got the task.
Team effect in some ways. And
that's really a big deal. So the value of this to me is huge. And pulling in the account management portion of it, this is going to be really, really useful.
Well, I appreciate that feedback, and that's why Carrie and I are doing. I want to make sure it's meeting your guys' expectations, it's delivering value. So I appreciate you guys sharing that, because